Alright, this one's gonna be a motherfucking marathon on no sleep. Skizzo versus Lyrikil Purmafrost. Jordan Denault. Right. Let me just first check steps. One round, 5 bars. And just the usual catas. Alright. Okay, where are we? Too many people in love with gifts. Alright, here we go. Alright. Skizzo. Intro, blah blah blah. To believe his performance deserves props when all your setups for plays are weak, but since sunset in his ways, let's find out what the rest of the day would bring. Fuck a text battle, I'll answer with the tech like something Alexa would say to me, and any one of your homies trying to ride getting hit with the auto without a Tesla to take the streets. So even if he runny knows that 11 will take care of the friends like Vecna and Stranger Things. Bitch, I said I ride around in a bucket like hey bro, it's just to get us from A to B. These autos aim at your head, but what I hold is an aim assist. Nah, I said these arms ring like Shang-Chi, I got toasters to raise and lift. The headshots leave your face looking as gross as a payment is. Plus, when the clip out and Ariel see it's a problem, no Black Little Mermaid when they told her to make a flick. And if something don't add up, I'ma roll like an Asian kid. Have you seen the higher powers, you'd have thought exponents that came with this. Put foreign abroad on site, like I'm on Google trying to scope for vacation cribs, and leave detectives trying to solve for why like they were showed an equations quiz. Boy, I'll punch you in the nose till it breaks my fist. Which will give a whole new meaning to being known for the greatest hits. So if you'll ever hear a lad in trouble for rubbing me the wrong way, you'll better hope it's to make a wish. Cause even though you tried your hardest, saying as best as possible, still doesn't guarantee you get the exposure that makes you sick. Bet you'll get taken by storm. Hope you got your coats for the rain equipped, cause I brought something cold that's made to dish without stofers, isn't it? Bet you'll get taken by storm. Hope you got coats for the rain equipped, cause I brought something cold and it's made to dish without stofers and plates to ship. Pull up like yo, get a taste of this, bang. Shaking me here, motherfucker, who else you know that could say this shit? The way I cook 'em is unheard of. Even Dharma episode 6 couldn't come close to the ways it Skiz. You know, I gotta admit, for the absolute fucking king of this, stretched text, fucking 27 syllables per line shit, it actually fucking flows. I mean, there's some places there where it doesn't flow for me, but most of it is fucking tight enough, flows off the tongue easily enough that, you know, I'm just gonna put that down to fucking regional accents. Obviously, as Will Porter writes this shit in his head, in his accent, it fucking works. He's not just forcing shit in there that doesn't actually fucking rhyme or flow. Alright, moving on to Jordan. Your writtens won't have a ripple effect, so no need to be stopping the motion. Your ish is dysfunctional, you ain't making any waves, what you're scrawling ain't flowing. When I said cry me a river, you just showed salty emotion, yet you ain't as still as water either. Your whole verse a drop in the ocean. Your consistency goes up and down in a seesaw fashion. You and the cue to become a ghost like Street Talk's Phantom. I don't want your 2 cents, but that's all your cheap talk can give, meaning your investment won't rise, unlike how Jack's Beanstalk managed. So it'll come down to the wire, and we won't see lurking static. Seesaw fashion, Street Talk's Phantom, cheap talk can't give. Cheap talk can't give. Beanstalk managed. Cheap talk can't give. Beanstalk managed. Won't see lurking static. If you brought a voltmeter to track it, it ain't shocking you posed as hood cause you're too reposeful for some zapping. I'm saying you wouldn't produce any energy if you had jewels that you were holding firm and grabbing. In this multiverse of madness, you look like the type of unholy nerd with sadness, but you battle with depression, you're next to rope for sure attachment, and your thoughts bring a dark hole till nerves start snapping. Sorry, lost my place there because I'm looking through a fucking pop filter. I know you were unaware, that's why I brought forth the news to you. I can run circles around you, but you proved in your performance you can too. That's why I brought forth the news to you. But you proved in your performance you can too. You already left yourself hanging. The self-torment's crucial, dude, because you're pulling yourself apart, so of course you're feeling torn and two is true. It's crunch time. You won't ride off Jordan through and through. I know that's a mouthful, so don't bite off more than you can chew. I had a hand in you losing yourself. Now your body as a whole is worthless. I'm strange to a spider with no courage. Lost me there. Body as a whole is worthless. Body as a whole is worthless. I'm strange to a spider with no courage. Body as a whole is worthless, eh? With no courage, eh? I don't know. Maybe there's some fucking Canadian thing going on there. You got no way home, but as the spirit moves you, start soul searching. Expo. Even if you're sent in shots, I got the Iron Mountain for the fastest dang delivery. There's no doubt you're a joker. That's a pass grenade deliberately. Find your introduction. No, hang on. You want to stray from the skit so you can. You want to stray from the skit so you can change. Find your introductory way first. I know you can't handle these shots. That's why you finna cut to the chase, sir. Okay, rhymes, multis, flow, cadence, lyricals, not quite as smooth or polished as well. You know, that could be an accent thing. But then again, having said that, I'm a New Zealander reading the verse of an American and reading the verse of a Canadian. And much like Australians and New Zealanders sound alike to you guys, Americans and Canadians are pretty fucking indistinguishable for us. So when I put my mental internal accent swag on it, it's much of a much. So yeah, first impressions in terms of flow and tightness and multis, Will has pulled ahead. Right, now, fuck me, the content, Jesus Christ, this is going to take a while. Alright, well, the nerve of this coward to believe his performance deserves props when all your setups for plays a week. Performance, stage props, setups for plays. Nice. Like, nice as fuck, actually. Like, that's a hell of an opener. Performance deserves props, setups for plays. I mean, that's one of those fucking lines. Skiz does this. You know, he sometimes drops this shit and you see it and you're like, why the fuck has nobody else ever said that? Why the fuck have I never said that? Like, it's so fucking obvious once he says it that you're like, dude, how did I not see it? But since sun's set in his ways, let's find out what the rest of the day will bring. Fuck a text battle, I'll answer with the tech like something Alexa would say to me. Okay, getting ahead of ourselves. Performance, props, setups, plays, nice as fuck. But since sun's set in his way, let's find out what the rest of the day will bring. Skiz does this a bit. He gets a little vague and metaphorical sometimes. And he gets a pass on it because he's Skiz. But okay, since sun's set in his ways, since the sunset is in his path, let's find out what the rest of the day would bring. I mean, if you stop and think about that for a moment, he's saying sun, Jordan, is set in his ways. He's too fucking pig-headed, too bull-headed to shy away from this battle. He's also saying the setting of the sun is in his path, in his immediate future. He's saying, so let's find out what the rest of the day will bring. And obviously what the rest of the day is going to bring is nightfall. So the future's not bright. And it's nice as fuck when you start peeling back the layers, but god, you've got to peel back some layers. But that's cool. Skiz writes the kind of shit that rewards repeated rereadings. Okay, let's find out what the rest of the day will bring. Fuck a text battle, I'll answer with the tech. For a second there I was like, fuck a text battle, I'll answer with the tech. And I was like, is Will seriously going to do a fucking text tech thing? But I'll answer with the tech like something Alexa would say to me. Cool. I'll answer you with the tech 9. Like something Alexa would say to me. Cool. And any one of your homies trying to ride getting hit with the auto without a Tesla to take the streets. Any one of your homies trying to ride in a vehicle is getting hit with an automatic, like an automatic self-driving car without needing a Tesla to take the streets, meaning any of your homies want to ride or die with you, they're going to die because they're going to get hit with the automatic firearm. So even if you runny knows that 11 will take care of the friends like Vecna and Stranger Things. I think it was Marco said earlier, and I'm in the same boat, haven't seen Stranger Things. I was around in the 80s, so I'm not fucking fascinated by them, I guess. But okay, a quick Google, it checks out. I don't know how tightly it checks out because I don't actually know the source material, but it checks out. I said a ride around in a bucket, like, hey bro, this is just to get us from A to B. Only real hood motherfuckers gonna get that. I guess I'm not a real hood motherfucker because I have no idea if you're talking about a T-bucket hot rod, if you're talking about a bucket seat. Maybe it's some Americanism whoosh over my head. These autos aim at your head, but what a hold is an aim assist, fairly self-explanatory. Now I said these arms ring like Shang-Chi. Had to Google that. You're on some fucking obscure nerd shit there. Having said that, it looks like some obscure nerd shit that I might actually fucking enjoy. I might have to check out those comics. I got toasters to raise and lift. Okay, so Shang-Chi has the 10 rings weapon. Fucking traditional wushu brass rings on the arms. Also, I'm going to make the firearms ring out. I got toasters to raise and lift. The headshots leave your face looking as gross as a payment is. Headshots leave your face looking as gross as a payment is. I was a little confused here if you're talking like modelling agency headshots, rounds to the head. Could work either way. As gross as a payment is. Maybe American accounting works differently. I don't know why a payment would automatically be a gross figure. Here it would. Here it would be a net figure. Anyway. Plus when the clip out and aerial see it's a problem. This one loses me a little bit. Plus when the clip out and aerial see it's a problem. I don't actually quite get what the wordplay is. When the clip's out and aerial see it's a problem. All I can get from that is when the clip's out and Erie will see it's a problem, and I don't get what fucking Erie is supposed to be. Like maybe a play on fairy, like fucking faggot, pansy, I don't fucking know. I'm not quite picking that one up. No Black Little Mermaid when they told her to make a flick. And if something don't add up, I'm gonna roll like an Asian kid. Love that. Why you not do better in math? Have you seen the higher powers? You'd have thought exponents that came with this. I'm gonna let you away with that one. Exponents came with this. You and I both know that the sentence is exponents had come with this. But you know, you're doing that thing you do where you mangle your grammar deliberately. And there is a difference between somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, who's just mangling their grammar, and somebody who knows the rules but is deliberately breaking the rules to make something work. But it's a fine line, right? It's a fine line. You'd have thought exponents that came with this. I'll put foreign abroad on site. So I'll put 4 on abroad on site. I don't know how you pronounce foreign. I don't know if it's supposed to be 4 in abroad or 4 on abroad when you say it with some swag. Doesn't really quite work either way for me, but I get the idea. Like I'm a Google trying to scope for vacation cribs. That's cool. So I'll put foreign abroad into the search bar on a fucking vacation holiday home search site. Like I'm on Google trying to scope for vacation cribs. I will also put 4 rounds into abroad on site as soon as I see the motherfucker. And leave detectives trying to solve for why. I think it was Marco said that really needs to be trying to solve the why. Trying to figure out the why. Trying to solve for why is, again, you're trying to walk that fine line between somebody who knows the rules but is deliberately breaking the rules versus somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing and they're just mangling their grammar. And on that one, I think you're stretching too far. Like, Skizzo does this, and like I said, he always fucking gets a pass because it's Skizzo. But if you really want to start being picky, and at this level of the game, we expect quality, so we're going to be picky in our critique. Trying to solve for why is just shitty grammar that doesn't make sense in a sentence. Like they were showed in equation quiz. Trying to solve for why like they were showed in equations quiz. Okay, so algebra. It just doesn't quite work both ways, like as a regular sentence. Boy, I'll punch you in the nose till it breaks my fist, which will give a whole new meaning to being known for the greatest hits. I almost feel like that one maybe could have been reversed for greater impact. I'll give a whole new meaning to being known for the greatest hits when I punch you in the nose till it breaks my fist. I don't know, maybe it's just me. It just feels like that would have worked better reversed. So if you'll ever hear a lad in trouble for rubbing me the wrong way, Aladdin, Arabian Nights obviously, for rubbing me the wrong way, you'll better hope it's to make a wish. That's cool and all until you really get picky and break it down, in which case Will is essentially saying, "Hi, my name is Will, I am a magic lantern." So if you'll ever hear a lad in trouble for rubbing me the wrong way, you'll better hope it's to make a wish. Obviously it's like, if a motherfucker's rubbing me the wrong way, then the lad's in trouble. It just doesn't quite work perfectly both ways. It's very close, and it's a lot better than most people get, obviously, but it doesn't quite work perfectly. Because even though you tried your hardest saying as best as possible, asbestos, as best as possible, again, what you would actually say in a sentence is as good as possible or as well as possible. Best is, you would say the best possible or as good as possible, but as best as possible isn't actually a workable sentence. But we all get the idea. Allowances, still doesn't guarantee you get that exposure that makes you sick. Possible asbestos doesn't guarantee you get the exposure that makes you sick. But you'll get taken by storm. Hope you got coats for the rain equipped. Again, allowances. He's breaking the rules on purpose, because what you would actually say is, hope you're equipped with your raincoat. Literally, Hope you got your coats for the rain equipped. Begs the question, what is your coat equipped with? Stinger missiles? Storm flaps? I don't know. Because I brought something cold and it's made to dish without stopers, and plates to ship. I had to fucking Google that because we don't have that here, but okay. Ready to reheat frozen dinners, frozen TV dinners. Brought something cold and it's made to dish. Frozen dinner without stoppers and plates to ship. Cool. And then pull up like, yo, get a taste of this. Motherfucker, I just wasted 15 minutes of my life on YouTube watching old Stouffer's commercials to see if yo, get a taste of this was a catchphrase that was used in commercials that would be like immediately obvious to American audiences. I never want to see another fucking Stouffer's commercial as long as I live, so fuck you for that. Pull up like, yo, get a taste of this, bang. Motherfucker, who else you know that could say this shit? Unless that's just direct speech, like it's Skizzo, I'm assuming there's a fucking wordplay or a punch in there somewhere. I'm assuming he wouldn't just finish that on direct speech, like motherfucker, who else you know that could say this shit? But if there's a fucking punchline or a wordplay there, I'm not picking up on it. The way I'll cook him is unheard of. Even Dharma episode 6 couldn't come close to the ways of Skiz. I haven't actually fucking watched any of that. Is it Netflix series on Jeffrey Dahmer yet. Obviously he was a cannibal where he cooked his victims. Unheard of, I'm assuming, is there was either a deaf or a fucking deaf mute victim. So I'm assuming that's what that's referring to. Also, I should add the disclaimer at this point. None of what I'm saying here is to suggest or imply that I think I can do any better than either of these guys. It is just inherently easier to break down and critique and pick out the flaws in somebody else's work when you have all fucking day to Monday morning quarterback it than it is to produce your own creative content. That's just the way of anything, right? You know, you can go back and fucking you can go back and you can pick out the flaws that led to the disasters of the space shuttles, Atlantis and Columbia, without having to be a fucking rocket scientist. Alright, it doesn't mean I could build a better space shuttle. Alright. So as I break these down and get really fucking nitty gritty, itty picky, I'm not suggesting that I could have done better than either of these verses, but I was asked to break them down and give feedback on where things don't quite work, so that's what I'm doing. Alright, moving on to JD. Your writtens won't have a ripple effect, so no need to be stopping the motion. Your writtens won't have a ripple effect, so no need to be stopping the motion. Okay, you're not going to cause a ripple effect, so there's no need for me to be stopping anything because there won't be anything to stop. Your shit is dysfunctional, you ain't making any waves. Ripple effect, stopping the motion, making waves. What you're scrolling ain't flowing, waves, flowing. So we've got this whole liquid kinetic energy thing going on. When I said Crimea River, continuing with the movement of water. When I said Crimea River, you just showed salty emotion. You ain't still as water either. Your whole verse is a drop in the ocean. It's clever in that it's a consistent scheme about water and the motion of fluids. But I also feel like it's clever up to the point that you've managed to say so many different things about water and liquids and hydrodynamics. But also it kind of leaves me scratching my head going, what has he actually said that hurts Will? Your writtens won't have a ripple effect, no need to be stopping the motion, that's okay. Your shit is dysfunctional, you ain't making any waves. You ain't making any waves. It's kind of fucking hard to say something like that about somebody like Skizzo and have it come across as meaningful or believable. Obviously Skiz has had a big fucking impact on the scene, so what you're scrawling ain't flowing, but it is. It flows like a motherfucker. When I said cry me a river, you just showed salty emotion. Your ain't as still as water either. When I said cry me a river, you just showed salty emotion. But rivers are fresh water, and now suddenly you're talking about. It's just like, as the reader, you've got me thinking about a river, fresh water, and then suddenly you shove salty emotion in my face. Your whole verse is a drop in the ocean. So like salty emotion and drop in the ocean, like they click together in my head. But that segue from fresh water to salt water, and I know we're being super fucking picky here, but that segue from fresh water to salt water is just a little rough. The transition is just a little jarring mentally. Somebody else got fucking ripped in a battle against me a few months ago for doing that. They were talking about they were so fly, they were on a fucking airplane, and then they told me to get to scrubbing the decks, and judges were like, you're talking about an airliner in the sky, and then suddenly we're back down on the surface of the sea talking about scrubbing the decks, and it's just like a little bit jarring. Super picky, I know, but just if you're creating imagery and you're taking the reader along on a journey, just try and make the transitions in the journey as smooth as possible. The whole scheme's clever. Whole lot of fucking water shit going on, whole lot of fluid shit going on. But then ultimately it doesn't say anything that really hurts Skiz. Your consistency goes up and down in the seesaw fashion. You in the queue to become a ghost. Street talks phantom. Q for quit. I won't say his government name. Q for his government name. Ghost. Phantom. So Will's in the queue to become a ghost. Like Fant. Yeah, okay. It works. I don't want your 2 cents, but that's all your cheap talk can give, meaning your investment won't rise, unlike how Jack's Beanstalk managed. One, the multi really falls off me there. I can see how maybe the multi's supposed to work, but meaning your investment won't rise, unlike how Jack's Beanstalk managed. I kind of feel like something like, and I know it doesn't work with the multi, but something like, unlike Jack's Beanstalk, your investment won't rise. Like you're talking about Skiz, you're talking about Skiz and his skills, and then suddenly you're talking about fucking Jack's Beanstalk, like you're getting very metaphorical. I feel if you start with the metaphorical connection as the setup and then transition to a punchline that is actually attacking Will, like I feel there like you start with something disrespectful about Will and then you transition to, I'm like, what the fuck has Jack and the Beanstalk got to do with anything, right? I thought we were talking about fucking Will Porter here. I thought that's who you were battling, and now suddenly you're referencing fairy tales. Whereas if that was the setup and then you transition to saying something fucking disrespectful about Will, it just hits harder. Like it's a battle, right? And I get that that's what you could do in that moment with that multi-scheme. But yeah, just everybody should be aware of just trying to keep everything focused on the opponent. So it'll come down to the wire and we still won't see lurk and static. So it'll come down to the wire and we still won't see lurk and static even if you brought a voltmeter to track it. That's clever as fuck, because any wire has always got some electrical leakage into the molecules of gas around it. Put a voltmeter right up against even a well insulated wire and you're still going to pick up, you know, background power leakage, causing obviously static through fucking speakers. So that's got some fucking layers, some depth to it. That's quite cool. And then keeping with the energy and electricity scheme, it ain't shocking you posed as hood. Shocking because you're too reposeful for some zapping. So it ain't a shock to me that you're a fucking poser and you're not really all that fucking hood, because you're too much of a sit on your ass and do nothing kind of motherfucker to actually do any shooting. I'm saying you wouldn't produce any energy if you had jewels that you were holding firm and grabbing. So you're saying you couldn't act like a thug if you were grabbing your fucking nuts. And you're also saying you couldn't produce any energy if you had joules of energy that you were actually fucking holding onto a bare wire. That's cool. Again, there's fucking layers and depth and technicality to that, and it's a whole fucking consistent. So we've got a little bit of a fucking rough segue in the middle with Seesaw Fashion and Street Talks Phantom, and that Jack and the Beanstalk shit. I'm really not fucking digging at all. But other than that rough little fucking segue in the middle, you've got like this whole consistent water, fluids, hydrodynamics thing, moving into this whole consistent energy, electricity thing, both of which are like really slickly put together. In this multiverse of madness, in this verse full of multi-syllable rhymes from a fucking deranged lunatic, multiverse of madness, you look like the type of unholy nerd with sadness. Haven't actually seen the movie yet. Hope there's no fucking spoilers in this bitch. Bet you battle with depression. You're next to rope for sure attachment. You could read that as you're always sitting there next to a rope, waiting for the moment to use it to kill yourself. You could also read that as you are making sure you can actually feel the rope touching your neck, that there's no slack or loose space your head could slip to, because you want to be sure you do it right, and your thoughts bring a dark hold. I had to Google that, just like Will, you're on some obscure fucking Marvel nerd shit, but you're both committing the same crime, so whatever. And your thoughts bring a dark hold till nerves start snapping. Next to rope, dark hold evil book. I know you are unaware, that's why I brought forth the news to you. Noose. News and noose is a little bit of a stretch for me, but I can fuck with it. I can run circles around you, but you proved in your performance you can too. That can be taken a couple of ways. Run circles around you, but you proved in your performance you can too. So you are saying Will has put a circle around himself in the form of a noose. It could also be read as Will is schizophrenic and running circles around himself. But you proved in your performance you can too. But you already left yourself hanging. The self-torment's crucial, dude. Crucial's got quotation marks around it like it's supposed to be a fucking wordplay or a setup, which is going over my head, because you're pulling yourself apart, so of course you're feeling torn in two is true. Obviously we're segueing back into the multiverse of madness thing. Is there a whole fucking hanging yourself thing in the Multiverse of Madness that I'm missing because I haven't seen the movie? I'm starting to think that might be the case. So maybe you haven't segued off and then come back onto the path. Maybe you've actually been on the Marvel movie track the whole time. I don't know. Self-torment's crucial, dude, because you're pulling yourself apart. So of course you feeling torn in two is true. It's crunch time. You won't write off Jordan through and through. Write off Jordan through and through. Whoosh over my fucking head. No idea what you're talking about there. And I'm assuming that is because I haven't seen the movie. But the whole torn in two, or is it pulling yourself apart, torn in two? So that's like the whole fucking the whole Doctor Strange soul leaving the body thing, and also, you know, like fucking existing in more than one place in space and time in a multiverse. Cool. I feel like you smoked a lot of fucking weed before you wrote this verse. You won't write off Jordan through and through. I know that's a mouthful, so don't bite off more than you can chew. Mouthful, more than you can chew. I had a hand in you losing yourself. Now your body as a whole is worthless. I'm assuming this is some more Doctor Strange. Slaps the hand on the chest. You lose yourself. You lose your body. Body loses the soul. Now your body as a whole is worthless. I'm strange to a spider with no courage. Strange to a spider, no courage. I mean, yeah. Well, I get the reference. It's just, if you're saying to Will, you're a spider with no courage, and I am strange to you because I am a man with courage and conviction. I don't know if it's fucking meant to be that way. It kind of comes across that way. You got no way home, but as the spirit moves you, no way home. Obvious reference, but as the spirit moves you, start soul searching. As the spirit moves, you start soul searching. So that works as, but as the spirit moves you, start soul searching. And it also works as, but as the spirit moves, you start soul searching. That's kind of just shifting the comma around in a sentence. I guess you've given two examples in your given two examples here in your expo. I guess it kind of does work as two different kinds of figure of speech. Kind of. Right. So that's a breakdown of who said what. Both are like really clever as fucking places. Both fall off a little bit in places. You can tell that Skizzo is rusty. He's been out of the game. It's still really fucking impressive that Will can not battle for what feels like 1,000 years and then step up to the plate and fucking hit one for the fences like this. This is not peak Skizzo, but the fact that the guy can fucking step out of, I hate using the word retirement because it makes it sound like this fucking nerd internet hobby shit as a real career. But the fact that Will can step out of fucking retirement on short notice and write something like this is really fucking impressive, because every time I've been away for a while and I come back, it takes me a while to fucking get out of first gear and get back into it. It really does. So it's actually really fucking impressive that Will can do this on short notice after a long hiatus, but this is obviously not peak Skizzo. Falls off in a few places. And I've already highlighted them. There's no need to fucking drag them back up in too much detail, but there's a few places where the grammar is just, it's too forced. And even though, you know, you always make allowances, because going into a Will Porter verse, you know exactly what you're in for. You know you're in for fucking 27 syllables per line. You know you're in for some creative grammatical choices. But there's just a couple of places in this where it just crosses the line into fucking, you can't, suspension of disbelief falls off, right? Like suspension of grammatical rules is broken in a couple of places here. But only in a couple of places. For the most part, Will's ability to, put these fucking multi-strings together, put these wordplays together, and have them actually sound rational and smooth is quite the feat. Quotables. So that fucking opener, to believe his performance deserves props when all your setups for plays are weak. I mean, that one fucking line is just like, holy shit, why the fuck did I never think of it? That opener lets you know straight off the fucking bat what's happening. So as far as categories go, openers, closers, Will takes the fucking opener. Jordan tries, but it's really fucking hard to beat that opening line from Will. And closes. Where Cookham is unheard of, even Dharma episode 6 couldn't come close to the ways of Skiz. Cookham unheard of. Yeah, I'll play with that. Shit, actually. I'm already looking at categories and I haven't fucking finished with Jordan's. Where did we get up to? Yeah, sorry, I overlooked this fucking final bar. I skipped that and thought it was fucking Expo. Even if you're sending shots, I got the Iron Mountain for the fastest dang delivery. I googled Iron Mountain. I'm not fucking getting that. Iron Mountain here is a data management company. I believe they're an international conglomerate. Maybe they're more in the consumer scale end of things in the US, and fastest delivery of data or something is like an advertising slogan of theirs. I looked for like fucking movies and shit with the title Iron Mountain, couldn't find anything. So if you're sending shots, I got the Iron Mountain for the fastest dang delivery. Obviously there's a word playing a punch there, but I'm not fucking getting it. At first I thought it was something about iron sights, but apparently not. There's no doubt that you're a joker. That's a pass grenades deliberately. Pass grenade, so like fucking there's your fancy word of the day. I had to Google that. I had to Google the definition. So fuck you for making me feel like a dum-dum. And I'm an English major and a published journalist, and I didn't know that. So congratulations, you English lit nerd. You made me feel dumb. And that's a beautiful fucking word to just casually throw in there. However, past Quinn aid as a Harley Quinn thing, as a Joker thing. I applaud you for the attempt, but it's fucking too fucking forced for me to play it. You want to stray from the Skizzo, you can change. That's fucking nice. That's just like as a casual little fucking internal wordplay. You want to stray from the Skizzo, so you can change Skizzo. It's nice. Find your introductory way first. You want to stray from the Skizzo, you can change. Find your introductory way first. Kind of hard to make sense of what you're trying to say there. You're saying something about his intros. He needs to. I don't know. You haven't made it very clear to us as the audience what you're saying there. I know you can't handle these shots. That's why you're finna cut to the chase, sir. Shots, chaser. And I would have missed that fucking Chase used to go by Skizzo. In fact, I wouldn't have realised you were talking about fucking Chase, the YouTube rapper. I have heard of him before, I have seen a couple of his videos, but it wouldn't have been at the forefront of my mind, and I would have overlooked it without the expo, and I had no fucking idea that he used to go by the stage name Skizzo. Introductory way first. I know you can't handle the shots, that's why you finna cut to the chase, sir. That's actually a really fucking nice closer. But the setup preceding it lets it down, whereas with Skizzo's, taken by storm, coat for the rains equipped, stopers and plates to ship. Yeah, if you start looking at the whole package, I'm not a huge fan of the coats for the rain equipped because of the shitty grammar. But cold and it's made to dish, stopers and plates to ship. That's nice. That's fucking clean. That's nice. Pull up like yo, get a taste of this. How should you know that could say this shit? Kind of loses me. Like I said, it just looks like direct speech to me. I'm assuming there's a punchline there. The way I cook them unheard of, even Dharma episode 6 couldn't come close to the ways of Skiz. So I feel like if you start looking at the setup, at the build up to the final closing line, Skizzo's done a smoother job, a more complete package. Pasquinade's deliberately, that wordplay is just a little too fucking forced for me. Actually, it's a lot too forced for me. It's wildly forced, and I do not fuck with it at all. Bad, bad, bad dog. You want to stray from the Skizzo, I fucking love that. You can change, find your introductory way first. That loses me completely. I know you can't handle the shots, that's why you finna cut to the chase, sir. And I really fuck with the wordplay, but anytime somebody calls their opponent sir in a rap battle is just fucking cringe to me, because you are supposed to be belittling the pathetic little son of a bitch, not calling him sir. So anytime anybody calls somebody sir in a battle, yeah, it just feels like the wrong tone, like the wrong energy. Especially when it is like your very last word of the battle. That's literally, it's like that's your final word on the subject, is to call him sir. And like, I get chase, sir, chaser. It's nice wordplay, and once you have the expo to explain what you're talking about, it's cool. But imagine going to a comedy show. Imagine Bill Burr telling a joke and then fucking stopping and explaining the joke. Like, he drops a punchline and then he fucking stands there and he like delivers verbal expo. Wouldn't work, right? Whereas Skizzo's... Actually, fucking Skizzo's closer does actually require fucking expo for a lot of people. But probably not as many people. Anyway, closer. Skizzo, just a cleaner whole package, but that's a fucking honourable mention. Flow. Flow, like I said at the start, fucking Will's all over that. For a dude who like fucking, you know, crams all the fucking syllables in there, his flows, there's not a lot to complain about, right? There's not a lot to complain about. They wouldn't work on the kind of beats with the kind of delivery that I prefer to do, but, you know, as spoken word, they kind of fucking roll off the tongue, not gonna lie. Punches. Yeah, I feel like a lot of Skizzos are just... a little bit cleaner, a little bit more self-explanatory, a little more directed at the opponent. Jordan's got like this whole fucking water fluids hydrodynamics thing going on, and he's got this whole fucking energy thing going on, and it's It's like a great fucking... It's like a fucking masterclass in structuring a consistent thematic scheme. But it's in places not as directed at the opponent, or it doesn't come across as being as directed at the opponent. It kind of feels more like in places Jordan is just kind of flexing and showing off how fucking clever he is with words and how he can string together a thematic scheme, whereas Will seems to do a little bit better of a job of always sort of keeping it at least indirectly fucking aimed at Jordan. And a lot of that is just perception, because when you actually fucking read Jordan's stuff, it's really hard to define this actually, because he is saying shit like, what you're scrawling ain't flowing, you just showed salty emotion, you ain't as still as water, your verse is just a drop in the ocean, your consistency goes up and down in a seesaw fashion. I don't want your 2 cents, bitch, but that's all your fucking cheap talk can give. Your investment won't rise. And like, Jordan has actually fucking directed everything at Will, but somehow in a way that I find really hard to define. Will's just kind of done a fucking cleaner way of set up punch that just feels like it's more directed, feels like it's landing more damage. I don't know, I know that's not the fucking best fucking... I know it's not the most constructive fucking feedback in the world. It's kind of hard to take anything from that to improve on. Sometimes it's just fucking ill-defined, you know. Sometimes it's just about how it feels. It's about your fucking perception of it. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Will's shit often just seems... It just fucking seems to fucking hit harder, cleaner, cleverer. That's the thing. Yeah, actually that's it. It's not that his fucking punchlines are any more or less directed than Jordan's. It's just that so many more of them are real fucking quotables. Real quotables. And the kind of shit where you think to yourself, fucking, I could have sat there with that right in front of me for a year and I wouldn't have seen that. I wouldn't have thought of that. And even stuff like something don't add up, I'm a roll like an Asian kid. I mean, Asian kids being smart at math bars are nothing new, right? Will often just does it in a way that has a little bit of fucking swag, a little bit of casual fucking bravado to it that just gives it some impact. And again, it's very fucking hard to define exactly what it is he's doing and how he's doing it. I guess if it was easy to fucking define, everybody would be doing it. He does do a good job. He does do a good job of making sure his setups spell out and drop hints about what's coming in the punch. Whereas the connections between setups and punches in Jordan's are often a little vaguer. Or like he's got this whole fucking scheme, this whole thematic scheme going on, and it's a little bit harder to define where the actual fucking punch moments are. It's kind of more like a keto. It's just like this whole constantly flowing fucking motion. It's kind of like jab, 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 Wing Chun slappy hands. Whereas Will is more like grab him by the collar, punch, grab him by the collar, punch. Again, hard to define. There's some really fucking nice stuff here from Jordan. And I wish I could give a clearer and more precise, more fucking, I wish I could tell you this is how Will puts his fucking Lego blocks together, and here's the formula you can repeat to be Will Porter. But sometimes there's just a little bit of an ill-defined feeling to it. And there are places here where, even though you tried your hardest saying as best as possible, still doesn't guarantee you get that exposure that makes you sick. As best as possible. It doesn't work, it's shitty fucking grammar, but when he says saying as best as possible, still doesn't guarantee you get that exposure that makes you sick. You know, it's the kind of thing, if you fucking says it fast, you're like, wow, fuck, that's slick. If you actually stop and really fucking break it down, it's like, bitch, that's shitty grammar, don't do that. But nobody's actually going to say that's fucking shitty grammar and it's forced and it doesn't work, because it's close to being forced, but it's not quite. So it'll come down to the wire, and we still won't see lurk and static, even if you brought a voltmeter to track it. So it'll come down to the wire, cool, and we still won't see lurk and static, even if you brought a voltmeter to track it. It'll come down to the wire, but even if you brought a voltmeter to track it, we still wouldn't see no lurk and static. That works better. It'll come down to the wire, but even if you brought a voltmeter to track it, we won't see lurk and static. Maybe the multi's a little bit off doing it that way, but yeah, that's what Will's doing that's different, is he's just very fucking clean and very precise about making sure the close of each punch is the hardest part, and that keeps it pointed very directly at the opponent. I was discussing that earlier, and I said, I don't think either of them are actually more or less, but actually when you really start breaking it down, Will is actually better at doing that, at putting, I think there was only one fucking line in Will's whole verse where I was like, I think if they were reversed it could have hit a smidgen harder. And I think that is where Jordan has fallen off a little bit here. His multis and flow aren't quite as tight, and the stuff like meaning your investment won't rise, unlike how Jack's Beanstalk managed. If you reverse that and said something like, unlike Jack's Beanstalk, your investment won't rise. He's often got the cart before the horse. He's got the caboose before the engine. And actually, when you start going through Jordan's bars, there's quite a few places I'm starting to see where if you simply reverse the order of the setup and punch, or you reverse the order of the lines within the bar and re-engineered things that way to close on the strongest point, the most direct point that is speaking the most directly to or about the opponent, I think a lot of this material could be reshaped, reforged to hit a bit more directly, a bit fucking harder, like Will's has done. I think that's one of the things that Jordan can take away from this battle to polish and work on and come back stronger, is just take a second look, take a third look, and make sure you are actually fucking closing with the strongest part of the line or bar, and make sure you don't have the cart before the horse, that you haven't mistaken your setup and your punch. Just like after you write your fucking setups and punches, have a second look at them, have a third look at them, and ask yourself, is my punchline actually my setup? And is my setup the punch that hits hard and does damage? From what I can see from this battle, that's my takeaway. Fucking kudos to both these guys. They have come with a really fucking cool battle. Like, I fucking hate you both, and I fucking hate this fucking stretched, forced fucking text bullshit. I'm a rapper's rapper. I like shit over a beat. I spit simpler shit. But within the realms of text battling, this is one fuck of a performance, and it was really worth reading. And I'm glad you asked me to fucking give a word on it, because it gave me an opportunity to really fucking break it down in a way I wouldn't normally. Normally I'd just fucking gloss over it and be like, yeah, that was a cool battle. But the more I dove into it, the more I get to appreciate the fucking talent that was on display from both guys here. And this is not a fucking landslide. Jordan has come with a really fucking strong showing today. Really fucking deserves credit for it. But as is so often the fucking case, Will Porter does not get the smug smacked off his fucking face today. Better luck next time with that. Someone smack the smug off this fucker's face, honestly. But it's not today. Will gets my vote, but Jordan definitely fucking gets his flowers for this. Alrighty, LA out. Probably my longest fucking breakdown in history ever.